Alright guys, what's going on? Got the 12th war of the season here. Today my alliance is going to be facing IS8A2. This is ACM2 in a shell alliance, so it's going to be a pretty interesting war today. We were fully expecting to beat these guys. We've faced them in the past, beaten them easily, comfortably. And I believe that when we beat them before, we actually performed better than we did in this war. So I'm going to be starting off on path 5 here in section 1. My first fight is going to be Doctor Strange, and this is enhanced special 2 bias, power focus 2. So I couldn't decide if I wanted to use Guillotine or Captain America Infinity War here. My officer told me to go ahead and try to get the soul with Guillotine on this fight, so that's what I'm going to do. Getting some pretty good intercepts off at the beginning here. And just trying to hit him as much as possible since he gains power on his own and not through being hit. So I'm going to try to get in as many hits as I possibly can. So you can see I got the first special 1 out of him, and as soon as I got to my special 2 and couldn't power drain him anymore, he went ahead and threw his special 2. So luckily I knew that was going to happen, so I put on an invulnerability boost for this fight. I'm going to try to bait out another special 2, but another special 1, but he's not really wanting to throw it. So I'm just going to do as much damage as I can here. I don't want to waste time baiting out another special, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to do as much as I possibly can, slow down my combo to get some extra damage in from the degeneration. Got the 20% bonus on my special 3. So this should finish him. And it does. So ended that fight. Didn't go too poorly. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and take off my suicide masteries. I'm going to be taking node 20. It's a rank 5 5-star Mr. Sinister on I believe it's buff toggle, unstoppable, and power focus 2, and also and brute force. And Mr. Sinister is, of course, a flow defender, so you want to be careful not to crit him too much. So with Captain America against a flow defender, when I have a tech on my team, I always like to start with 2 parries. That immediately gives me 2 petrifies, so I don't have to worry as much about the flow. So you can see that he's not really gaining a whole lot of power there at the beginning, so that's a good way to get backed up into a corner with flow, is if they start gaining too much power and you have to worry about baiting out a special. It's really easy to get cornered, so that way you can kind of maintain your side of the map for longer. And then by the time I get to the point where I'm going to run into a risk of getting cornered, I will have my special 3. And I also have science power boosts on for this fight, so I'm going to get about half of my power back. As you'll see after the special 3, it does a ton of damage. And yeah, I'm at 1.5 bars of power. So I'm going to bait out his special 1. And I'm just going to try to parry as much as possible, keep petrifies on him, keep brute force off of myself. So there's always a lot going on in this fight and a lot to keep track of, but the nice part about using Cap Infinity War is that you don't have to keep track of the unstoppable, so that's just one less thing to consider, and that's why I like using him so much for this node. So I'm going to go ahead and use another special 3 now. It's going to once again do quite a bit of damage. It's going to give me about 1.5 bars of power back. Got the parry right out of the special 3. Going to bait out his special 1. And I'm just going to parry a couple times and throw my special 2. Doesn't crit, but still finishes the fight. So I'm going to move along now here to section 2. I'm going to be on path 3. And my fight here is going to be a Stark Enhanced SpiderMan on the best defense and backup recovery. So basically, you know, generally speaking, people put an evade or an auto block champion here. because any time that you are evaded or auto-blocked, the opponent is going to gain like extra power. So I used Warlock because he has a 1-part quick heavy, and as long as the opponent is running willpower and I have a debuff on them, they're going to be power draining throughout the entire fight. So I'm just going to try to continue to parry him. At one point I am going to make a mistake in this fight. You can see the backup recovery kicks in, so he's gaining quite a bit of power, but he's also losing some. And right there, that was the mistake that I made. I was dashing back and somehow I got caught up. He was playing pretty aggressively. So here, I'm going to go ahead and get to my special 3. And I'm going to hope that this doesn't kill him. And I know it shouldn't, because I'm going to try to get a little bit of healing off, because I am going to use Warlock in the next fight. So it doesn't even come close to killing him. Got a little bit of health back, so that'll save me maybe 1 potion. And now I'm just trying to parry him, heavy him, hit him once. I'm only hitting him while he's stunned, and the fight's over. So, super easy fight. I feel like a lot of alliances actually leave this lane clear, because there's just not much to, you know, I mean, you can parry, there's no limber. It's just not a terribly difficult lane. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this buffet mini. This is a Mysterio, and once again, he's here to counter Quake. Mysterio is immune to concussion, so anytime that you try to place a concussion or a debuff that he's immune to on him, on this node, he's going to gain power. So if you're standing there trying to Quake him in the corner, eventually he's going to get a bar of power and he's going to use it on you. So yeah, this is a super safe fight. Just don't use Quake, and it's unbelievably straightforward. I don't think he's going to get a single special attack off in this fight. There again, I don't know what happened. I swiped back, and this was right after that SpiderMan fight, so I don't know if like maybe my phone was warm or what, but either way, not a big deal, fight's over. So I'm gonna go ahead and move along to the mini bosses here, and at this point in the war, it was very, very close. They had cleared a little bit more than we had. Well, I'll show you after this fight. So this is gonna be Guillotine on debuff immunity. Or, I'm sorry, I'm going to use Guillotine 2099 on this Claire Voyant. The node is debuff immunity and dismay. So basically, you know, the name of the game at first is to manage her power. Every time that Claire Voyant tries to place a debuff on you, or you try to place a debuff on her that she's immune to, she's going to gain power. So she can't be quaked on this node. Anytime that you try to like parry her, anytime she uses a special 1 or a heavy attack, even if it doesn't make contact with you, she's going to gain power until she gets to 20 of her clairvoyance charges, which are the little purple charges up there by her profile picture. And once you get her to 20 of those charges, you're safe. She can't gain any more power, and the fight's under control. But if you're not careful in the beginning and you're not baiting out specials and she's, you know, you're trying to parry her or she's throwing a lot of heavy attacks, you know, it's not going to end well for you. So here I'm going to go ahead and finish with my special 3, and fight's over. It's super easy as long as you kind of know what to watch out for. So this next fight is actually going to be my last fight of the war. This is going to be like, I guess, my redemption fight. I've cleaned up a couple of rank 3 warlocks this season. And last war I actually died to this exact same fight. Rank 3 6-star warlock on enhanced special 1. So I really wanted to get the solo on this fight. And what I'm going to do differently in this one is the last time I was trying to finish the fight with a special 3 to make sure that I could get a, to finish with a soul at the end. because I wanted to try the Mojo boss. But this time I'm not going to care about that at all. I'm just going to do the fight, and I'm going to use my special ones to power drain, and I'm not going to be concerned at all with finishing with a special 3. So here I'm going to go ahead and push him up, and you'll see I'm going to throw a special 1 and power drain him. And it takes away almost half of his power. So now I'm going to push him up to a special 2. And I don't know why I blocked part of it with Guillotine. I don't do that with any other champion. It must be the spacing, but in the moment I just get a little bit worried about it with her. So, the fight's pretty well under control now. And you can see the special 2 I'm about to throw. I don't even know how many hits it is, but every single hit is doing like 35 to 4,500 damage if you look at the little red numbers. Here I'm going to go ahead and throw just a couple more hits and the fight's over. So her damage ramps up so quickly after you get to like, you know, like 50 hits with a soul. So that was just a 74 hit fight, not bad at all. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you, this is about where we were at in the war, 8 deaths to 8 deaths. They had cleared more than we had, my battle group had 4. But we had also cleared a lot more of the map than the other battle groups. So this was shaping up to be like our closest war of the season. And at a certain point they just stopped dying completely. Their attack bonus was very similar to KenOB's and 4 Loki's, which was pretty crazy. So we did end up losing this war, unfortunately. At a certain point, we kind of knew what the outcome was, and I think people just kind of threw in the towel a little bit. But either way, it was the last war of the season. We did still finish in Masters. These guys finished in Masters too. Congratulations to our MVPs, Robbie, Joke, and Fern. All did an amazing job. And yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and open my season rewards for you guys tomorrow morning when they come out. But thank you guys so much for watching this season. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.